putting, like this, glorifying the chief executive officer. But thousands of people work behind him, right? Help him. So those people will not come into picture, right? But Krishna says, I'm not like that. Even if you do something insignificant service, not visible to anybody, unknowing to anybody, I will take notice. See, I will take notice. So, that's why he ate mud, to bring us confidence that Krishna is taking care. Krishna is noticing what I am doing. Krishna is noticing what is in my mind. Noticing my service. Even though it may not be noticed by others, even though they might give you hard time. People they think, oh, you are not doing properly. But Krishna knows. That's why to give confidence to us, he ate mud. Because when we see mango tree, you think we will notice mud? Nobody will notice, right? Only fruit, forget about leaves, branches, anything else. So like that. The second reason is, if most of the people in the world, they do business, right? If you do business, you give €1, how much worth of they will give back? Maybe 50%. They have to keep something as a profit. Without profit, no business, right? They have to close. Suppose you give €1, do you find we're going to give you €1,000 back to you? It's not possible. But Mother Earth is not like that. Suppose Mother Earth also does business. Suppose we put one grain, one wheat, right? One buckwheat into the ground. Suppose she does business. No, I want to keep half the buckwheat seed and I'll give you back half. What will be our situation? We will not survive. So she gives back 1 grain, 1,000 grains. Stop. So many things. So Krishna says, I like those kind of personalities who give you 1, gives you back 1,000. So Mother Earth has that quality. I like her, so I want to hug her, I want to chup her. So he hugged her by taking mud into his mouth. So like that. And it has a kshamata, forgiveness. What we are not doing to the Mother Earth, right? We spit, we urinate, we do everything. We pollute, we poison, but still so much compassion, shamata, forgiveness. She's the epitome of forgiveness. So I like her quality, forgiveness, in all situations. So I want to, chumba, I want to hug her, so like that. He also consumed fire, right? We know that, right? And he told all his friends, don't look at me, close your eyes. Right? They close eyes, you fall. Now, can we swallow fire? We don't even touch, forget about putting the fire into our mouth, right? Hard milk, we get, but he took it. So many reasons, again, the fire, of course, it can burn things, right? Ordinary things, but it cannot burn our sins. Understand? No, it will not able to burn material things, but not this. It will not purify the subtle body. So Krishna says, no, I'm better than you. Okay, you can only burn, but I can burn, right? That's why Krishna is, another name is, he is not ordinary chore, he is not ordinary thief. He is the chora agraganyam purusham nama. You will not find such a thief. Because ordinary thieves will come and they will take you gold, computer, this and that. But if somebody comes, please take my sin also, no thief doesn't want, right? But whereas Krishna, no, millions, lifetimes. Yasya smarana matrena samsara bandhana muchyate tasmai Shri Vishnu. So just by remembrance. So that's why our acharyas are telling you increase our chanting, right? So that's why this Maha Mantra, how to increase our chanting and how we can motivate. Because every acharya has overcome, right? Haridas Thakur, take Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Haridas Thakur left his Kalevar, right? He personally took his body, personally gave samadhi, and personally begged things from the market, and he celebrated. In Jagannath Puri, his samadhi is still there. Is And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu every day visited him. So Rupa Goswami, Sanatana, everyone, Raghunath Das Goswami, Bhaktivedanta Thakur. Um, One time, Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, small boy at that time, they visited a village and they stayed in one. It was night time. They stayed in house. It was nobody lives. And when the morning came, and the villagers were asking, "Where did you live? Where were you last night?" Oh, in that house. You survived. You are living. Because it was a haunted house, haunted. And Bhakti knows chanting, it delivered all of them. So, like that, the Nam power is there. So, in this Lakshana, Laksha meaning in Sanskrit, Laksha meaning 100,000, right? 1 lakh. So, what do you mean by 1 lakh? So, the Gurudev is telling. We pray to the Gurudev, no other than Shri himself in the form. He is telling us, Guru Parampara telling that the name of Krishna is the embodiment of love. Namachintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukto Bhinnatvam Namanam. And if you come in touch with that love, your life will become happy. Gurudev stressed many times. And then for this age, Kali, what God has done is, Supreme Lord, Danavrata Tapas, Tirtha Kshetradi, Nanchaya Stita, Shaktyo Deva Mahatam, Sarva Pavara Shubha, Rajasuya Ashwamedana, Jnana Sadhya Suna, Akrishya Harina Sarva Stapita, Sresh Nama. So, Danavrata Tapa Tirtha Kshetra, Devas, Mahantas, Rajasviya, Ashwamedha, Jnana, Swadhyaya, wherever Krishna Akrishya, he attracted all the power he invested. See, he has invested all these places and he attracted and put it in his name. That's why in this age there is no power in now. Very a lot of invested all his shakti, his power in his name. Now in the Kalisantana Upanishad, the Brahma and conversation between Brahma and Narada Muni is saying, because Narada Muni is always concerned for the jivas. It's like Gurudev. Gurudev is actually manifestation of Narada Muni coming in that. And always worrying, not about himself, how can we elevate the people. So he's asking Brahma, "Oh Lord, oh my Father, how will all the living entities be able to deliver themselves from the most degraded age of Kali, which is about to begin?" Right? Now we are our house is on fire, but we don't see the fire. Some sort of fire. Now Gurudev sees that, That's why he has come. And then Lord Brahma replies, you have asked the most important, relevant question for the benefit of humanity. I will tell you the most concealed secret of the Vedic literature, with the help of which everyone can easily cross this most dangerous age of Kali. Bhagavadadi Purishasya Narayanasya Namocharana Matrena Nidhar Kalir Bhavati. Simply by chanting the transcendental of the original angel, the supreme Narayan, all these sins will be cleansed in Kali Yuga. Then Narad Muni is asking, Nama Kim Iti? Which are those names? Which are those specific names of the Lord? Which are most effective in the Kali Yuga? Then another name for Brahma is specifically saying Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Iti Shodaksham Nam Kali Kalmash Nashanam Natah Parataro Sarva Vedeshu Drishyate. In specifically, he's saying 16 names will destroy all the contaminants of Kali. There is no alternative there is to this. Now, Vidi Shodasha Kalasya Jivasya Varana Vinashanam Tatha Prakashate Parabrahma Medapaye Ravi Rashmi Mandali. This Mahamantra considers 16 names of Krishna, is the destroyer of the 16 layered illusory covering of all the living entities. Only when the coverings are destroyed, Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, will appear in the heart of the living entities. Just like the sun appears with the full intensity when the clouds are removed. So, the living entity is covered with all these layers. So, these layers are invisible. We cannot take a brush and then. So the Nama, because the Nama is smaller than the smallest, bigger than the biggest. Suppose if you want to clean this surface, right? Suppose I take sand and do this, what happens? I make more scratch on the table, isn't it? Huh? But if I take a fine powder, finer than the RMS, root mean value of the discontinuity, then it becomes fine. It's like any brass, many of you experience cleaning the brass. If you use sand, you use no, right? Finer than those those contaminants, then it will wash away. So like that, something has to be much, much finer than the mind. Right? How small the mind is, give an example. The ether, right? Akash. Probably heard. Electron. Now the ether is still considered as uh, gross element. Huh? The ether is so small, it will pass through electron. Electron, you will not even know. You get the point how small the Akash is? But it still grows. You can imagine the mind is even much, much, million times finer than the Akash. So and then goes on like that, intelligence, uh, ankar, chitta, and then so fine, so fine. And the Lord name is so fine, it can cleanse anything. That's fine. So then Narada Muni is asking, Punar Narada Prapancha, Bhagavan Kasya Vidhi Riti, any Vidhi Riti, what are the rules, regulations? So it says, Sarvada Suchi Asuchir Vapata Brahmana Sayatamiti. There are no rules and regulations to chant this Mahamantra. It should be chanted always, irrespective of whether one is in a pure or impure condition. One time, in the Lord Chaitanya's pastime, right? Uh, many ways, there was one Gopal Guru. He was telling one Brahman that the Brahmana was trying to hold his tongue when he was going to death. Why? Because he was chanting. Then he told, wait a minute, what will happen if you happen to leave your body while you are doing excretion? So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard this, huh, he gave the name Gopal Guru. Now we are acting as Guru, Gopal, small boy, because he showed that. So Yadasya Shodasha Sarda Trikoti Japati 35 million times. When one chant the 16 names of the Mahaprabhu 35 million times, he absolves himself of all his sins. Now, 35 million times, how do we get it? If we make this thing, if we chant 16 rounds, it will take 55 years. If we chant 32 rounds per day, it takes 28 years. If we chant 64 rounds, it takes 15 years. 80, 11, like that. Wonderful, 192. So, if you, most of us, we are not lucky, we came to the Krishna consciousness in the early life. So, and also many reasons is there. 64. Now, Sarvadharma Parityaga Papa Sadhya. Suchit Apnuyat Sadhyo Muchyate Sadhyo Muchyate iti Upanishad. By chanting Mahamantra, one becomes quickly purified from all sins accumulated due to rejecting all of one's duties in our past lives. Thus, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra only means thoroughly and immediately purifying oneself in Kali Yuga. Thus entering Kali Santana Upanishad. So this is Kali Santana Upanishad telling us how, see in our in previous lives, or even in this life, we have so many duties. We have forgotten or rejected so many things. So the sins accumulated due to that get purified by this mantra. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Bhagavad, Chaitanya Bhagavat, instructing everyone. प्रभु बोले जानो लोग लक्षेश्वर बलि करे प्रतिदिन लक्ष नाम ही ग्रहण करे. Do you know who is the Laksheshwara? He is someone who chants 1 lakh or 100,000, 64 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Bhagavad Bhakta Matre Pratyaya Lakshanama Grahana Karibena अथवा विविध विषये आसक्तः या भगवत सेवा करिते असमर्थ असमर्थ become. Those who consider themselves devotees of the Lord must compulsorily chant 100,000 names of Krishna every day. Otherwise, they will gradually but surely become attached to varieties of sense objects and thus become incapable to rendering any kind of service to the Lord. In the Lord Gauranga is saying, in the Bhagavad, Chaitanya Bhagavad, Kahilena yem Mahamantra, ya japa ya sabe kuriya nirbandha. One grantha is 4 round, one nirbandha is 16 granthas. So that means 16 times 4, 64 rounds, Mahamantra. All the previous Mahajans, without exception, have achieved success only through this process of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. At least 1 nirbandha daily, 64. Now, Narottama Thakur. So, Lokanath Goswami telling Narottama Thakur. Narottama Laksha Nama Laya Sankhya Kari. Nama Laile Gaurange Sarva Shakti Dhari. Oh my disciple, please chant 100,000 names every day. What's the main maintaining their count. You chant in this way, then you will become empowered by all the potencies of Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu. We have to keep the count, Uh, Jai Navadvipa Navapradip Prabhupada. Swanama Sankhya Japa Sutradhari. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Swanama Sankhya Japa. Even is keeping chant. Why you have to keep count? Because suppose if you have a shop, suppose you open one day 8 o'clock, someday 10 o'clock, someday 12 o'clock. What does your people who come to you think of? Not sure. Oh, we don't know whether it's open or not. You know. So also the school. Can you go to school, say our office? Oh, one day we'll go at 8, one day we'll go at 10, one day we'll go at 12 o'clock. We cannot do that, right? It's a prescription. Same way in this chanting too. For example, the cows, if you, in our ashram, we see that, when you set up a time to take them out, even 1 second, they make sound. Even though they don't tell the clock, they don't know how to read the clock, but they know time has come. Why are you still, tying me up? So like that, the Sankhya is very important. It will help us progress, and also commitment. Wait a minute, I'm not done, not done. So the count is very, very important. Rupa Goswami is explained and quoted from over 100,000 different scriptures. Even though he was such a great scholar and devotee, himself chanted 100,000 holy names. Right? Sri Rupa Kaila Laksha Granthira Tatapi Kari Laksha Nama Grahana. Dasa Goswami, Ache Laksha Pravan. Raghunath Das Goswami is to chant. And then Gaurangera Srimukhe Rupe Kaila Vaishna. Laksha Nama Sankhya Kari Avaishya Kari. Please compulsorily chant 100,000. Most important one, Narottam Thakur, considering himself worthless in his natural limit, he called all his disciples. Pratame Krishna Pada Prati Laksharja, say life Laksha Nama Sankhya. Those whose top priority in this life is to achieve the lotus feet of Lord Gauranga Krishna should voluntarily chant 100,000 names daily. Rasikananda, Rasikananda was a child, he used to do 100,000. And his mother, he wouldn't take any food stuff given by his mother until he completed. Srinivasacharya also, Kanchanagadiya Grame Prabhura Bhaktagana Ekalaksha Harinam Karena Niyama. Every single devotee of Sri Srinivasacharya residing in Kanchanagada used to chant. And they used to, tie their shikha, so they don't fall asleep. Now in the West, what happened? Why 16 got stuck is this history. 1967, San Francisco, Prabhupada asked, "What is your definition of Krishna?" He says, "Krishna is God in the supreme way. Our duty is to worship and serve Him." Swamiji seemed fairly satisfied, and then he said, "You must chant 64 rounds per day on your beats." I was shocked at this and could not answer. I did not know if there was any need to answer. I just kept looking at Swamiji. And he looked at me. After some time he said, "Or at least you can chant 32 rounds a day." Still silence. I considered it to be very difficult to chant even 16 rounds. I was wondering how I could possibly chant 32 rounds. After some time, Swamiji said, "At the very, you must chant 16 rounds every day." From Prabhupada Vilam. So that's how 16 was stuck. But it doesn't mean that we have to be there. How long we can be in kindergarten, right? UKG, LKG, or first standard. If I am 32 years, 60 years, I can be in one first standard. People will laugh at it, right? So chanting Krishna's holy name, the very live breath of the soul becomes a mere trifling thing to do at some other time. Pity how what should be done first is done last. Describing the word determination, what Srila Prabhupada said that chanting the holy names of Krishna is more important than eating and sleeping. You have to minimize your sleeping. If you cannot finish 16 rounds, then you must not sleep on that day. You must not eat. Why don't you forget to eat? Forget? Why do you forget chanting Hare Krishna? This is negligence, aparadha, offense. Rather, you should forget your sleeping and eating and must finish 16 rounds. This is called determination. This is called determined. So you are welcome to the take initiation. But if you are neglectful, if you want to make it a force, that is your business. I cannot give you any protection. Bhakti Vinod, सद्गृहस्थ जिनी प्रत्याह लक्ष्य नाम ग्रहण करें तन्नार गृहेरी शुद्ध वैष्णव गण प्रसाद ग्रहण करिए. Only those devotees are sadgrihasthas, true and ideal, who chant 1 lakh, 100,000 names of Krishna. The pure devotee should accept prasada only in the homes of these sadgrihasthas, nowhere else. Nama is served only by Mukta Mahapurushas, liberated souls. Baddha Jivas cannot serve. He can only exercise your tongue and mind. Krishna is so merciful, however, that even by this, if you practice in the association of advanced devotees, truly serving and establishing your Gurudeva's Manobhishtam desire, you will have this perfection very soon. So try to chant more. If you chant only 16 rounds with your mind going here and there, that will not suffice. You will make tangible advancement. And you chant 1 lakh, as Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has explained in the Jaiva. And as Srila Rupa Goswami has written in the Deshamrita, verse 8. Actually, in the Walking with the Saint, I think I forgot which one. There's one, 2008, when he was in somewhere in the East Coast, no, West Coast in America. Many devotees were there when Gurudev told him, must chant 64 rounds. Then there were something was then 32. Then he came on 20. If you cannot chant 24, better give up your, drown yourself in the Pacific Ocean. Something like that. He said. Huh? You were there at that time?
In England. You were saying in England.
In England. Oh. Yeah, many places, So one way of chanting, actually, say, Anirudh Prabhu, many of you heard about him. I met him and I personally witnessed what happened in Bangalore. He came to his grandson's house, right? And he doesn't tell anybody where he is or not, because he has a commitment of chanting 3 lakhs to 5 lakhs every day. Suppose you spend some time, he has a commitment. Oh, I have to make it up, like that. So he doesn't tell anybody, he doesn't entertain too much. But he came, and then couple of times we arranged this program. And then many devotees came. One devotee was hardly able to chant 4 rounds. Couldn't say Hare Krishna, Hare, very difficult. So when we got blessed by him, next day was chanting 64 rounds. Next day. So like that I've seen many people. Even here in the audience, I think I know few of you are here who have met him and greatly benefited by it. So he gives a formula because he said he talked to the Lord. He is the disciple of Bhaktivedanta Madhav Maharaj. Our Bhakti Prajnan Keshav Maharaj Guru Bhai. Bhakti Prajnan Keshav Maharaj and Bhaktivedanta Madhav Maharaj. Even though Bhaktivedanta Madhav considered Bhakti Prajna as a senior, very senior. So his disciple, Bhakti Vallabh Tirth Maharaj godbrother, is almost 85. He was an engineer. He met Bhaktivedanta Madhav Maharaj in Jaipur when he was only teenage. He was only like 20s, teen 20s, 50s, 1950s. And Gurudev has gone to Jaipur and stayed in his house. Whenever Gurudev wants to buy the deities for the temple, he has stayed because he was initiated in the Gaudiya Sampradaya. So he remembers. So he took, he was so enlivened by hearing the uh, Bhaktivedanta Madhav Maharaj in Radha Govind temple in Jaipur. His kirtan was so well met. And then next day he took Diksha from him in around 1950s. Since then he's chanting 1 lakh. So after his retirement around 2002, he's chanting three. Now he's five. 5 lakh. So he has now, of course, why he's telling this? Not because he's proud, because he doesn't want to tell anything. It's like Jaiva Dharma. We cannot tell our own, realizations in public. Maybe a few devotees, very confidential. But he's telling because his Gurudev is ordering him. Hey, you must tell. Otherwise, how will people will realize? How, like we have heard Haridas Thakur, how he was dead. But then, we have not heard much about chanting. So he's giving the entire thing, how to do this, helping, because he's been ordered by his Gurudev, not one time, many times. He has just said, hey, must reveal this. And then Hanuman himself appeared to him and then told him, when he has many signs on his hand also. All the Shankar Chakra, Gada Padma, all this, he can show you. And why he's showing? Because Hanuman told him, when you reach about 65, 70 years, you must tell the whole world this. You cannot keep it to yourself. No. Now you must. Otherwise, how people will know? How people will progress? You know. So like that is very humble. He is not in himself glorifying. He's so humility. I will tell you, very difficult. In Bangalore, when he came, we told him chant Hare Krishna. When he was chanting, he broke down. Half an hour it took him to get back, to bow. So he's very, very advanced. Bhakti, Vallabh Tirth Maharaj himself has told other devotees, like, Vrunda Devi, right? Vrunda Devi met him and she's chanting more than 1 lakh. Vrunda Devi. She may not tell you, but she told me other things that I may not able to tell. But many people, Ashram Maharaj married and he is doing 3 lakh. Many people are doing many. So why is that? Because he gives a formula. Formula is, you in the front of Gurudev when you chant, right? In the morning, preferably in the Brahma Muhurta, right? So get up, because see, as Krishna says, everything is in the four ways of looking at, right? Uh, the Tamasika, Rajasika, Sattvika, and Vishuddha, right? Like if you want to give dhan, like charity, it's in the mode of ignorance, passion, goodness, and then also Vishuddha, Nirguna, related to Bhakti, Sambandha with Bhakti. So same way the time also is there. Mode of ignorance, Rajasic, Sattvic and Nirgun time. So Nirgun time is like Brahma Muhurta, where if you do, it's a Nirguna time, nothing it will disturb you, right? You don't have to look at uh, the time in the Panchanga, right? In the Panchanga, oh, it's a good time, bad time. No. You can do any auspicious things in the Brahma Muhurta. You're exempt from, nothing. Like Akshaya Tritiya, Akshaya Tritiya, right? During that day, whole day is auspicious. Like that, the Brahma Muhurta is very auspicious. So he says, preferable is sit down that time. That means we have to go to bed early. That means we should not take too heavy meal in the night. No, that way we makes a big difference. If you avoid take very light dinner, then you can get up early. And then you chant 4 rounds in front of Gurudev. Think you are in front of Gurudev. If you think in front of Gurudev, you think you will go to sleep. You're so attentive, right? Gurudev is watching. Gurudev is watching. He's listening to how we are in that mode. If we chant, then it goes fast, right? And then Lord Nursing Day, like yesterday, Nursing Day is appearance day. Why? Because he will destroy all the obstacles. He will destroy all the obstacles in chanting, in increasing, whatever obstacles coming in our. Uh, then Gaurari, Lord Gaura, right? Gaura Vedere Sara, Gaura Karibine. Jivane Gaura, Marane Gaura, Gaura, right? Shayane Gaura, Swapane Gaura, Gaura. Huh? Gaura Vihane Namanchi Parane, Gaura Kare. So like Gaura, right? Gaura, if you think it's pastime, how he himself is chanting, right? How he can imagine how animals, chanting Hare Krishna, right? Lions and tigers, have you heard? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, anything, they were chanting, and even in pastime in Jagannath Puri, it's like the fisherman, fisherman touched him and oh Hare Krishna, right? Then somebody else touched him, whole village. So like Maharaj was saying yesterday when Prahlad was chanting, Hiranyakashipu sent his uh, soldiers, and soldiers also got into chanting. Like that, it is very. So if it's like that, you will mind will. See, we have heard shastras, right? So many shastras. Shastras are like sunlight, rays of sun, right? There is a little bit of energy, but it's unable to burn, right? Suppose you put a lens in the sunlight, what happens, right? Anything burns. So same way, the Shastra itself will not help us. It gives us light, but it will not help us in concentrating our mind, focus. Because the power of mind, you remember last 2 days we were talking, so powerful. It can go either way, right? Is our friend also our enemy? So the process is to make his friend, We cannot exist. See, Krishna says, among the senses of the controlled mind, Bhagavad Gita. And the controlled mind. If a mind is controlled, right there is Krishna. It's like a water, turbulent water. We don't see the bottom, right? But if the water, there is no turbulence, we see the bottom through the water, right? So like that, Krishna is visible through the mind. It should be clean, So to cleanse that, so you need the nama. Nama act like a light. It concentrates on that burn. So like that, the then Krishna, Radha, Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, Gaurari separation. Now Haridas Thakur, 6 Goswamis, Madhavendra Puri, Ishvara Puri. So this takes you uh, 40 rounds. And then 40 rounds, Sanak Sanatan, Brahma, Shiva, Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita, Gadadhar, Vedavyas, 6 Goswami, Madhavendra. So this is 40. So 80 rounds. 80 rounds you can finish in, say, around, like 3 hours, 3.5 hours, 4 hours maximum, by practice. It's not difficult, So many of the around the world people have done this. So Um, Ashok Prabhu has some these things. Maybe later on we'll pass it out. And this has helped me, helped so many people because by it will help us concentrate, you know. And if we are in the near Narad Muni, for example, you remember pastimes of Narad Muni, right? You sing so nicely bhajans, Narad Muni, right? So like that, each devotee, Lord, it will make us, Lord is more pleased. Huh? So now relative comparison, 16 versus 450, 64. See, when you are driving in a car in the road, you come across um, traffic signal. If in India, you come across cows, people walking here and there, right? Police, right? But if you take off into the sky, right? No police, no traffic, right? No cows, nothing, right? So like that, then also the the chanting. Some people say, "Oh no, it should be very clear." Oh no, no, no. Actually, Lord is Bhavagrahi, like in the Ajamila case, right? Ajamila, right? Bhagavatam. Ajamila in the previous life, he was a Brahmin boy, right? Was taking a bath in a pond, and he slipped and then went going down. And then one lady came, took his shikha and pulled him up. And then instead of being very thankful to her, he cursed her. Why did you touch me? You become a Vaishya, first. Then she said, wait a minute, I helped him. Instead of thanking me, he has cursed me. So she in turn cursed him. You become my husband. Previous life, okay. Next life, what happened? He was a very nice person. He knew Shastra. He knew all the Shastras very clearly. As a wife, father, everybody taking nicely. But then one day he went to the forest to collect the flowers, wood, for his service. And then he happened to see a Shudra, right? Some strange way. But that affected his mind. So the Mahabharata war started in his mind. In his mind is saying, no, no, you should bring a buddhi. And he tells, no, no, you should not. Scripture says this is this. Mind, no, 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 you should bring buddhi. There's a war between Pandavas, Kauravas. Inside is mind and intelligence. Because he didn't have any satsang, right? Satsang he didn't have. And his mind win over it. So he pushed away his wife, children, the father, and then he brought her, and then he had 9 children, right? And he was doing all abominable things. He gave up his birth as a Brahmana. He was killing, he had done everything. Because of this sin so much. And one day, sadhus came to his house. And his wife was, because previous, she was welcomed the sadhu. And then he helped her, she helped her. And then she was telling his husband, do some service to them. And he said, oh, I left them alive, that is my service. So he was telling like that. And then they told, don't do anything. But when the baby is born, my son is born, please name him as Narayan. Oh, if I name him Narayan, what do you get? He is asking, no, we are devotees of the Lord, we will be pleased. Oh, so be it. So the baby was named even before it was born. Narayan. So it was, and then it was born even with a female or male because by the blessings of the sadhu, it became a gender. Like in Australia, I heard one case where one mother wanted a girl, and Gurudev said, no, it will be male. Oh, Gurudev, please, it should be female. I will do anything. Then you chant, 1 lakh times. He told Radha's name. And then finally the female was born, according to that. So Gurudev can do that. So same way in this case. So he was born and he was attached to Narayana. Then what happens is, like other day we were telling, the Akala Mritti, he has done so much sin, his appointed death came earlier, 12 years. When it came, when he saw the Yamadutas, became very fearful. Oh, and they are trying to pull you. See, they are trying to pull our sukshma they have from the gross body. It's like somebody coming in your house, 12 o'clock when you're sleeping, and they're giving you 1 second to get out of the house. What do you do? How do you feel? Right? You cannot take, you don't have time, and you have to. So that kind of pain, right? It's like thousand bichus, like bichu, the scorpions. One is very painful, 100,000. So because the attachment, it is attachment. We are thinking this is our body, thinking of it. So and is pulling. See, if somebody ties this gross body, pulls, we can understand that, right? But how we can understand there's a subtle body and they're tying up. See, Yamadutas are very perfect in tying up the subtle body, which we don't see, and they're tying, pulling out, and we don't want it. I want to get back. I want to be back in this. So the painful, and then kapavata pitta, the fear, right? Prana prayana samaye kapavata. Then he said, "Oh, he's crying. He's asking help of his wife, and she understood. You get lost. You see what you have done." So then he was expecting help from her because he does not know anybody. Wife, children, and the bridge was cut. Then what he has, see, at the emergency, right? Then he called his elder brother, sons, please, then they said, we have to play. They went up. So that was cut. Then the last one, right? Nara. He was very attached to the last. Nara, please, you are please, Then he said, let me, my elder brothers are playing. Oh, okay, I will go. So he walked away. Then what he has left with? He was expecting help from his wife, children, elder children, and smallest. Now everything is gone. So then he remembered, nothing in this world is going to help me. Right? Nothing is going. Then he remembered because Sukriti, that in his mind is there. Because he cannot say any word properly. Narayan. He cannot. So he said, no. He did not say Narayana. He could not because Vatavata Kitav. No? He said, no. In his mind, he put concentration on the Lord. But it is not properly coming out. So what did Lord, he was thinking, he did not say my word properly. No, he's very compassionate. He's like a mother. Mother understands the baby, whether it calls, properly, improperly. It knows he is only calling me and nobody else in the world. Is it not? Then you think mother will ignore him? Or because he's not properly calling mine? See, right? So same way Lord immediately he sent his Vishnudutas came. Immediately. Because they are everywhere. Sarvatra Sarvada. They are there. And what happened? They said immediately. who I am. Made a fun. So when they told to Yadav Prakash, he became very angry. Of course, he's telling like this. So he came and then, oh, mantra, nothing failed. Then he said, who are you? You have no power. You are not a Vaishnava. Vaishnava can deliver. I want to be delivered. I'm suffering in this form. I need to be delivered. He cannot. Then tell me who you are. I know you tell me who I am. So the ghost is telling. Ghost have a lot of information. Few information. And even they also have a controller. Don't think they have a controller. They have from midnight 12 to 2, they are free. Even then, if somebody says, oh, they have to go immediately. But I've asked them, do you know who is your controller? No, they don't know. But they have a controller too. So they is telling, in the previous life, you were a Motiketa, a small lizard. And the Vaishnavas came to take darshan of Balaji, and they made some prasadam. And they left prasadam and the water, offered water. And you ate that. Because of that, now you are born as a Brahmana. See the promotion? When you take prasadam, promotion. And he became Vaishnava too later. That's why I am telling, even the small entities, if they touch prasadam, partake, they will become Vaishnava. So prasadam will not go waste. So much powerful. So then he said, who are you? He asking to the Buddha, Brahmana. I was a Brahmana. I was doing yajna, karma kanda, But because this pronunciation was not proper, Indra, in a little bit. If you have an anger, little inundation, you get the opposite, viparita. In the Bhagavatam also, many stories are there. So like that. But for bhaktas, we don't have to worry about it because our mode of chanting is right. So anyway, little this way, that way, we are protected from that. Protected from that. So then the subconscious mind has 20 million environmental stimuli per second, 40 environmental per second conscious. So it is so powerful, mind. So now we will. Any questions? If not, we will have one round of Anil Prabhu's, because many of you curious, wait a minute, because each chanting one round takes you about 1.5, less than 1.5 minutes. You may wonder, wait a minute, how he is doing? So whether he's doing properly or not, if you think like that, you can see. Yeah. Yeah.
Hari Ram, Hari Ram, Ram Ram, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hari Krishna, Krishna Ram, Hari Hari Ram, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hari Krishna, Krishna Hari Hari, Hari Ram, Hari Ram, Ram Ram, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hari Krishna, Krishna Hari Hari, Hari Ram, Hari Ram, Ram Ram, Hari Krishna, Hari Krishna, Krishna Hari Hari, Hari Ram, Hari Ram, Ram Ram, Hari Hari, Krishna, Hari Krishna, Krishna Hari Hari, Hari Ram, Hari Ram, Ram Ram, Hari Krishna, Hari Krishna, Krishna Hari Hari, Hari Ram, Hari Ram, Ram Ram, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hari Krishna, Krishna Hari Hari, Hari Ram, Hari Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Ram. Ram Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram.
Actually, this recording is taken during midday. You can see the background, the rickshaws, cars going by. And also recording was not, like this. Um,
He's not pronouncing all the names. You cannot hear all the names, taking half. Is that correct?
now is pretty clear. Very clear. But it's very fast because it doesn't give time. See, time. See, like I was telling you, the mind is so fast. See, 1:10 to the power 100. So unless we are that focused, like also the focusing, even though see, what I'm saying is we have the mind and we have the senses, right? And the mind speed is very high. The senses speed is low. See what I'm saying? So the senses will not be able to keep up with the mind. That's why you see, little distortion or not properly thinking. But mind is doing it. See, that's what the importance. Man manobhava man bhakta. And like I was telling you, Ajam, many cases, that concentrating the mind. If your mind is there, like many times you may be watching the TV, but if your mind is not into it, there's so many scenes are going by. You know, you will not notice it. Same thing hearing, unless the mind is there. So if mind is there, or you will not be able to keep up with it. So with that you have to understand. But more than that, you have to see the effect. Where how he is helping others. Uh, is by listening to his, he has over 500 billion or something like that. He has come, chanting so far. He has so much. So just by listening to him, um, because he has that one pure, he doesn't want anything. He does not take any donation from anyone, right? He gets about 30,000 rupees per month. He's a retired engineer. His children are also working in a bank. They are also retired. They are also doing online. In his house, everybody, including his grandchildren. And his health is very nice. His eye vision is like 4-year-old boy, even like 85. So he has no power. He says when he chanting the Amrita, shower of Amrita, he has no back pain, nothing, perfect. So he doesn't need anything. Yeah. So is so much determined, so much faith in the holy name. Holy name is holy name because that's what the Shastra is also telling. And the only reason he's telling is because he's being ordered, by the Guru, other saintly people. He must reveal this. And I see the manifestation of Guru because if all of us chant 1 lakh, where will be the problems? And the Shastra is telling the side, Krishna will not accept. We take, for example, Giti Gucha. Giti Gucha, it's there. Prabhupada's instruction. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Prabhupada's instruction. But unless one chant 1 lakh, God will not accept. So, and what he's doing is this process will uh, uh, help us in achieving that very easily, very easily, because he is himself is expert. He has experience, he has anubhava, he has practiced it. many, many years, for 60 years plus, So it's very helpful. It has helped around the world people, So, and uh, any questions?
One more question.
Yeah.
Pronouncing is not important, as I hear from you. Is mentally thinking of the name is better, or how should I understand? Do we have to pronounce the name, or we can do it in my mind also? Which one?
It depends what stage you are. Like Haridas Thakur used to do, right? There's three kinds of smara, chanting, right? One is louder, when it's just by lips, another is the mind, right? So, but if you try to do the mind in the beginning, then whatever, right? It takes you away. But when you louder in the beginning, then it's like this. Suppose you are putting grains. In India, how they put grains into the field, they have a little thing they start putting, and the grains goes in and covers with the mud, right? Sometimes the grains falls on the outside. Falling grains, what happens? The bird will come and eat it away, right? It's not going to sprout, right? So same way, if our chanting does not fall into the ear, not observed by the mind, then it is like that, it will waste, meaning taken away. Huh? So that's what it is. The mind, that's why the feedback goes back and the hearing, right? It's like in a computer. Computer is a scanning, the software is scanning all the keyboard and the mouse and all the inputs, like that. So mind is also, so it has to scan so it gets the attention once a year, Then the mind then passes on to the intelligence. Then intelligence passes on to the ankar to the chitta. That's where it gets impression, right? Impression. So like that, but for a beginner it will be difficult. That's why the louder, recommended, and then gradually. So now if you chant louder, if how many rounds you can do in mind? Suppose if I ask a question per minute, can you not do one round every second? Incredible. His eyes, so like that. But so you make a combination. Combination of that. The idea is that we are sitting in the near all these personalities, like we showed before. Gurudev, for example. And now if we are in the front, in the presence of Gurudev and talking and then chanting, feel his presence, chanting. Don't you think our quality will increase? It will, and he is there. Gurudev is not that he is not there, right? Yesterday we were talking, Um, he is Sarvasva Sarvada, he is there. Whether we want him to be here or not, that's the thing. He is there, So if we are like that, then our thing will go away. It will increase. And then he himself is chanting. He gets about 1 in the morning. Till 7 o'clock, he sits in one place, straight through. Like that, because somehow Krishna made him manifest at the right time, So any other question?
One time there was a question that when the ladies don't get enough time to chant their rounds, they asked me whether if they chant within their minds, if that chanting will count also or not. It's like when, especially for musicians, like when we sit for hours doing kirtan, then suddenly there is like a stereo going on, and the chanting is going constantly within the mind. Does that chanting is countable, or because The chanting within the mind. Just like right now, I'm chanting, but I'm hearing the holy name within my name, my mind. Nobody hears it, but I hear constantly it's going on.
No, that's counted. The whole point is 24 hours with our mind. You know, eventually we have to come to the point where 24 hours we are not that's going on. In the background. See, everything has a foreground and a background. You know, foreground so many things happening, but in the background, if we are that's going on. You know? So that's the point. Sometimes foreground background may be same.
Yeah, you can do double. Like I'm chanting and my mind is chanting some other name than I'm chanting. So I hit two different things. I'm chanting some other names while my mind is chanting some mantra. So I could do things at the same time.
You can practice, you know, practice by that you can do. But at least in the some round by chanting, because the Tulsi is very helpful. You know, touching Tulsi, Tulsi Mala is helpful. But suppose you are driving or you're in the train, or if you take a counter, you know, counter, electronic counter, you know, simple. It looks like your ring. That you can use it for your remaining rounds, you know, that's okay. And then if you chant 64 rounds and 4 rounds extra, then there is no way you can commit aparadhas. You know, aparadhas. And then you're completely, it takes you a different way. That's what Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, remember, telling. If we do not do that, then gradually we get attracted to the other things and then we lose interest. You know, somehow we dragged away. You know. That's why we have to come to this level, you know, somehow do this. And Krishna will fulfill our, you know, desire. You know. If we have the desire and practice, you know, it is not impossible. There's so many people around the world, you know, who are very busy, busier than any of us, still doing it. And see, one time in Jaipur, there were 2 doctors, you know, husband and wife, and wife was being, some reason she was being thrown out of this. She was going to lose the job in the hospital. And she was asking, so she started, you know, Anand Prabhu told, you know, he chant 64 rounds. So she started chanting. And with 2 weeks, you know, went by, instead of being sacked, she got promotion. She got promoted.
About this machine gun chanting. It's well known in ISKCON. They chant like a machine gun. Is that not disturbing to God instead of singing some really slow and nice taking God's name? It's two different. Whether to sing, to take your time to take God's name or to chant very fast.
No, the 2 ways. Either way, the mind is in our. See, I just want to finish my 16 rounds. No, not that much. You see what I'm saying? You know, we want to chant 1 lakh. You know, but then see, if we see, mind is too fast. I will tell you, I don't know. You know, the mind power, you don't underestimate. You know, it really, it make the hell out of heaven or hell, right? It can so powerful. So here we are trying to, it has to be engaged, right? You know, you have heard this story, right? It's like the one guru, you know, he wanted, the disciple asked him, oh Gurudev, give me some help so that whatever I, you know, tell it gets accomplished. So he gave a Bhuta, right? But remember, you have to engage him, otherwise he's going to swallow it. Right? So he went and took the Bhuta and then, oh, build me a house. Immediately done. Then cleansing, then he's wondering, oh, wait a minute. What? Give me. Then he came running back. And then Guru, what did he engage? He showed the tree, go up, go down, go up and go down. Going up and down like that. You So the mind is very, very, is like more powerful. Ghost is nothing. Really, there's a root cause. But we cannot get rid of it. Have to make our friend. So engage it. So that's why if we engage it, make it practice always, it will not go away. And the um, and then buddhi. See in this case, in the story, I forgot to tell you, the Ajamila, right? How did he get his strength? See, after he saw the Yamadutas, right? Vishnuduta, what happened to him? Then he came back, right? Back to life. And then he went back to Haridwar for 12. Now, in the process, he saw his wife, children, everybody there. He did not hate them because he had very short time of the satsang, Vishnu Buddha satsang, Lavamatra, right? Even 1/11th of a second, Lavamatra. Then what happened is discrimination. See, with Shastra, with the knowledge of Shastra, our discrimination is like a sword, blunt sword or a charcoal, it will not cut anything, right? But with the satsang, it becomes very sharp. And that satsang, he got it for what? One less than odd second, right? But that was enough. It became very sharp. So easily he forgave them. Actually, he said, all the knowledge was revealed to him immediately. He said, oh, I don't have to take care of them. Krishna is already taking care of them. He is going to take care of them. With very happily he left the place. And then he did his, divorce for remaining 12 years. So, and then they were also delivered. It is not that they were not delivered. They also went back to So because because he completed. So like that, that Shastra is also essential, uh, but precedence, what it takes, the practice, the Nama. No matter how much you hear Arigata, don't we have to chant, right? We have to take food, right? We have to enough food. So spiritual food, the Nam is spiritual food for the soul. Now suppose if you don't eat for a long time, what happens? Our body gets weak. Right? The same way, most of the people outside the world, why even though they're taking good food, good nutrition, so-called, they are unhappy and their life is really mess. Why? Because their soul is not getting the proper nutrition. It's actually starving. It's actually starving. Whereas here we are giving the food, right? Now, bhajans, prasad. Prasad is not just ordinary food. Like yesterday I was telling you, it does three things. Our mind, our mind becomes satisfied, purified, satisfied. Otherwise, if we eat not, contaminated food not offered, then our mind becomes contaminated. See, the food has three things. One is a gross thing, comes out as a stool, right? The inner subtle, small thing goes to make our blood, proteins, skin, bones, everything. The most subtle thing goes as a food for the mind, the words we speak, and the prana, is a food for that. So if it is contaminated, our prana also gets contaminated. Words we speak is also get contaminated, and the mind also gets contaminated. So if you take the prasadam, which has no, all the contaminants removed in Vishuddha, it's a perfect food for our mind. It will elevate, purifies. Words will be, if somebody is using a bad word in somebody's house, if you say, hey, don't use bad words, it will not work. How long they will listen? But give them prasadam. You know, like yesterday I was telling the story, you know, the thieves came to steal, and he gave prasad. What happens? You know, transformation. Oh my. Oh Lord, please, Swamiji, please forgive. You don't know who we are. We came to rob you. Please forgive us. Here is, you know, like that. It can change. Because that is the power of the prasad. That is the power of the, you know. So that and our prana, you know, our chetana, you know, our chetana is important, you know. Uh, so Param Gurudev explains how the Shabda Brahman is very. So Shabda Brahman, when he hears, you know, the Atma, it goes. See, the thing is, our false ego. What happens is normally the ordinary Shabda cannot pass through Shabda, and the you know, our Anka. He says it backs behind it, you know, like this ordinary. But Shabda Brahman is so subtle, so it will pass through Ankar. It will pass through. Otherwise, the Ankar is preventing anything goes into the soul. No? So this Shabda Brahman, it will go through, you know, and then it fed. The soul gets the food. You know. When it's so satisfied, it says Hare Krishna, and that's why the name Shuddhanam, you know, Namabhasa Shuddhanam starts appearing, and then you know, so that's why we have to hear the Shuddhanam. Okay, that's the key. So all of you are very fortunate. You have heard many times from Gurudev, and it is not that you heard and it is gone. Shabda Brahman never dies. See, one time, Ramanujacharya again, there is the first time, the Kuresha, you know, Param Gurudev always tell this story, Kuresha, because Kuresha gave his uh, life protect Ramanuja, like that Param Gurudev, how he gave to protect Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. He exchanged the trust, right? Took his danda, he went. He said, I am Bhakti Siddhanta, you know. Even though they are threatened, they're threatening Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati life. So same way that Kuresha, one day he was a multi-millionaire, okay, that time. He was not ordinary person. And everything, you know. Krishna Arpanamastu, whoop, left, walked to Srirangam, and then he was doing Madhukari, right? One day there was so much rain, his wife is thinking, wait a minute, what to do? There is no food to partake, and today is so much rain. But at this time, Ranganath is having a Rajbhog. You know, she was thinking, maybe little if I get. She was thinking like that. Soon after, hour later, knock on the door. And Mahaprasad came, right? The priest brought it. And then Quresh was, wait a minute, did you had any thinking like that in your mind? Should not think like that. Give so much trouble. See, he was just in mind. And then anyway, they honored the prasadam. That night, Lord came in their dream and said, because you honored the prasadam, you will have two children. Two children will be born. And so the children were born to child. And yes, Parasarabhatta is one of them named as Parasarabhatta. Huh? That's Parasarabhatta. Huh? Small. So when the baby was born, Ramanuja sent his disciple. And then because he saw babies should be protected, he uttered the nam, you know, their mantra to the right. And then the baby was taken to Ramanuja. When Ramanuja saw this, who gave him the mantra? Because I see mantra going round him. You see, mantra going round him. I see moving. Oh, Gurudev, I think. Oh, very good, very good. That is good. So like that, this Shabda, you know, the Diksha mantras are there all around us, going around. It will never get lost. A Shuddha Bhagavat can see that. Many times Gurudev has said, Oh, Gurudev, I want to hear the mantra again. No, I want to. But you're looking at Gurudev and said, hey, you've already heard, you've already taken Diksha. Yes, he can, Gurudev can see the mantra. No, we cannot. Understand? Whether you are properly initiated or not, he can make it out. You know, so that's how the power of the Siddha Purusha. And that's why, if the mantras he has obtained Siddhi, he can see that, So, all of you are so fortunate to hear from Gurudev, So that will protect us, it will not go away. Unless we do Vaishnava. So that's why we have to be careful. We tolerate. And what is the best way to not to do any aparadha? Chanting all the time. Then where is the time to do anything? You know why? That's why Jaiva Dharma talks about, right? If you do Nama Aparadha, right? What is the way? There is no way other than chanting continuously. Then Nama Prabhu says, oh, he is chanting so, always. Then Nama Prabhu will forgive us from Nama Aparadha. Otherwise, there is no other way around. Continuously we chanting all the time. And that comes by practice, right? By practice, going, even though it may not be externally, mind is going all the time, then we'll be protected from that. And that is the glorious, that's glorious. And that the Naam that we heard from Gurudev, if it is within us, with us, that alone is enough. Actually, if people are attracted to you, not because we have any good qualities, because we heard from Gurudev, we heard the mantra from Gurudev, because mantra is circling around us, and that's what is attracting other people. Understand? Not on our own thing. Bhakti, the Maharaja Kadambani. I think it's time.
One more question. How about chanting in the breath? Chanting in the breath. When you breathe in, you chant within the air, and you breathe out. Like there's a bhajan, Sansoke Manape, Sumuru Maite Radna. What is that? The effect of that. It's the same as like chanting within your mind, chanting with your breath.
In the sampradaya of Sikh, sampradaya, swasa naam lena, they are the thing. Every breath we take. Now. So, like if you go to the yoga, right? Yoga practice and all that, not yoga. Some of them you can, they breathing in and they try to. So similarly, you can do Maha Mantra. Like if suppose you see in America, there are so many devotees who are yoga teachers. So instead of Om, actually Om, you should not hear too much. It will make our heart, like a stone. So especially ladies, but the Maha Mantra can be synchronized. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So then, if you practice it, then because breathing is going on anyway, even when you're asleep, right? So if you practice, then the Naam will also keep going.
It's a kriya that nobody can stop.
Yeah,
going constantly.
Going on. But it takes a practice, practice. So, Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo Nama Sankirtan Yajna ki jai, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra ki jai, 64 round chanting ki jai.
Zo, Hilo. We gaan nu even met z'n allen aarti doen. En daarna is er heel veel prasadam. Dus, en dinsdag vertrekt Maharaja naar Amerika. En morgen is er nog één programma met hem. question and answers. Dus iedereen die vragen heeft over bepaalde onderwerpen, die kan morgen terecht van 6:30 tot en met 9 in Fascinatio, Daisy of nummer 13, Kapel aan de IJssel. Het staat op de website. Dus morgen laatste programma met Maharaja. Daarna hebben we weer vrijdag, zaterdag, zondag Chaitanya Bhagavad. Met 2 discipelen van Sripad Bhaktivedanta Maharaj, die hier zijn. En één is een van de beste Kirtanias die er rondlopen. Die komt. En, nee, jij niet. Dus jullie zijn ook uitgenodigd voor vrijdag, zaterdag, zondag. Het beheer op programma's. En, dus jullie zijn nog allemaal welkom morgen. We gaan nu Aarti doen. Maharaja heeft een programma in Den Haag nu gelijk. Dus daarom moeten we nu stoppen. Dankjewel voor jullie aandacht. Nog een klein applausje voor hem. Okay, als iedereen op wil staan.
And now, if I sleep and I wake up and I can't sleep, then I'm very sleepy. And